Men no longer want to marry. Find it any place now. Men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are leaving marriage like it's radioactive. They have all the advantages, because they've done the math, not because they're broken or can't find mates. Math scares. That polite divorce rate of 56% lets everyone sleep at night. When you factor in couples that stay together for the kids, mortgage, health insurance, and the reality that starting over at 50 looks like death, the real figure is 70% or 75%. 3 in 4 marriages are dead or dying, and men are finally realizing that. Why don't men want to marry anymore? They're not stupid. They watch friends suffer in family court. They saw their fathers work until death for remote families. They skip the game after seeing it, not because they despise women or can't commit. But the risk-to-reward ratio is so bad that only a fool would sign such deal without thinking. The dangerous paradox you should know. Within 5 years, 86% of divorcees remarry. 86%. Think about it. These couples suffered, lost money, and had their children split between 2 households. They do what? As they wait to do it again, they repeat the same thing. Like abuse victims returning to their abusers or bankrupt gamblers returning to the casino with their last salary. Different this time. The most costly lie in history. Different this time, but not the same. Same game, different player, contract, and illusion. Different face. Men are realizing that the game may be the issue, not finding the right person. This psychology is intriguing and dangerous. 1. The harsh reality of divorce statistics. Our biology favors pair bonding. Society teaches us from birth that marriage is success and singleness is failure. Your mother wants to know your wedding date. Your friends post wedding photos like Olympic gold medalists. Every film ends with a wedding, which is the commencement rather than the finale. We keep playing, losing and playing again, like rats pounding the cocaine lever till they die. But men are breaking the rules. They view marriage as a legal transaction, not a passionate one. When you remove the flowers, music, and promises of forever, marriage becomes the worst financial deal a man could make. You're spending half your money and future income in feelings, especially hers. That won't change. Bet on what else in life? Talking about money and relationships makes everyone uneasy. People quickly complain about gold diggers, resource-hungry women, and how the dirty economy has wrecked love. That's juvenile thinking. Every relationship is a value exchange, and believing otherwise will bankrupt and anger you. Consider the obvious. Rich elder man and beautiful younger woman. People point and say gold digger like they spotted something scandalous, but they don't realize how honest that discussion is. He brings money, stability, and expertise. She's beautiful and energetic. Both sides recognize their sacrifices. That arrangement is more honest than love. Marriages, where people act like money doesn't important but track it. Exchange isn't the issue. Delusion is the issue. The problem is that the older man thinks she loves him for his personality, doesn't care about his money, and believes the performance rather than the transaction. At least prostitution is honest. You know your sales and purchases. What about marriage? Marriage is about resources, not love, and men suffer because of it. Women know this, men don't. Love is emotional and economical, has always been thus. In history, marriage has been largely economic. Love weddings first appeared less than a century ago. It appears our ancestors weren't dumb. Maybe they realized that mixing affections with money and pretending money doesn't matter in love creates a manipulative system. In modern marriages, that person is often the rich male. It's not gold digging for women to consider resources. They're smart. The plan exists. They know bills last longer than sentiments. They realize love doesn't cover school or medical emergencies. They know what men are just learning. Marriage appears like a romantic comedy but is business. If you sign that contract thinking it's about love, you're a victim, a prenup. 2. Marriage, social, spiritual, and legal dimensions. A term that ruins romance faster than herpes. Be clear about what a prenup is. It's not divorce planning. Realizing the truth. Marriage combines 3 things: social, spiritual, legal. Spirituality is your beliefs and actions. The social is the party and praise. You must follow the state's legal contract. The majority sign it without reading it. Do you understand your contract? Most grooms don't either. In their rented tuxedo, they dream of sex on their honeymoon while signing a form giving the government control over their money. Marriage rules can change anytime. Tax, alimony, and custody laws. Your 2010 contract won't apply in 2024. While you play, The government can modify the rules. Yes, you agreed. You consented. A prenup means we'll make our own rules instead of letting the state do it. It's about taking command of your future instead of judges and attorneys who don't know, care about, or love you. It's the most mature conversation two people can have, but most are too young. Basic model is straightforward. Yours, mine, ours. You own what you bring. I bring my stuff. We share our creations. Clean, fair, clear. Most couples can't manage this basic conversation. They would rather give the state a blank check than discuss money awkwardly. They'd rather risk everything than accept that their forever may not last. People dislike prenups because they feel like they're arranging their death. It feels like quitting before the game. This feels like playing against your own happiness. That's emotional thinking, not logical. Despite not wanting to die, you get life insurance. You buckle up even if you're not about to crash. Although you don't want to quit, you save money. Prenuptial agreements are like insurance, but they cover you against 75% of failure. Fantasy makes it hard. The idea that your love is special, your relationship is extraordinary, and statistics apply to others. People believe they'll win the lottery or drive better than average because of the same mistaken idea. Everyone thinks they're alone. No one considers them standard. Math doesn't care how you feel. Probability doesn't care about romance. This is what prenups do. It forces you to discuss subjects most couples avoid until it's too late. Our money. What will we do? What happens when someone quits? Suppose someone inherits wealth. If someone starts a business. Suppose we lose love, God forbid. These are mature conversations. Without them, you're not ready to marry. The best marriages are predicated on honesty about difficult topics like money, expectations, and what happens when feelings fade, which they will. The chemical mix in your brain that makes you dumb with love lasts 18 months to 4 years, according to research. Your partnership, compatibility, and agreements are all you have after that. Those of you who haven't signed an agreement and are just high on chemicals will soon discover what 60% of married people do. Love is insufficient, the incomprehensible truth. Prenups improve romance. It's about choice, not blind trust. A prenup protects both parties from the worst. Choose to stay, not must. You choose to be there every day, not because of money or law. Storybooks are less romantic than that. Real love is when someone may leave but stays. Real commitment means knowing you could leave but not wanting to. Not the forced commitment of being too broke to leave, but the voluntary commitment of two people who chose each other every day. A good prenup honors both parties. Says, if this ends, we'll both be okay. It's, I care enough about you to keep you safe, even from me. It means we'll enter and leave as equals if necessary. That's not planning for failure. It's caring enough about each other to ensure that failure won't destroy you. Most don't see this. Their concentration on romance performance prevents them from understanding actual partnership. They forget about marriage because of the wedding. They sign that state contract, blank check, an agreement to let others decide their fate because they're too concentrated on the start to plan for the end. This is because adult conversations are less romantic than denying difficulties. 3. The brutal cost of divorce for men. No one discusses this. Men who stay in dead marriages because quitting would cost them everything. The living dead are going through the motions. They stay for the kids, the house, and the reality that starting over at 45 with half their assets means they'll never retire. No divorce statistics include these males, but they're deceased. If you know what to look for, you can find them anywhere. He works late every night because returning home seems like jail. Non-alcoholic man who drinks too much because it's the only way he can handle his life. This husband takes pharmaceuticals because he's in a terrible situation, not because he has severe depression. Partnering turned into slavery for these people. They joined for love but got responsibility. Their proximity request was denied. They mustn't quit since they'll lose their kids, home, retirement, and future. They stay, dying more each day, counting the years until the kids are grown and they can go without losing everything. Since they're married, society thinks these men are doing well. They are admired for their responsibility and dedication as men. However, society doesn't notice what these guys sacrifice, their dreams, happiness, and the slow death of their souls when they realize they're captives in their own lives. Now men are doing the arithmetic, and the results are bad. Divide your net worth by 2 to get the minimum divorce cost. Legal fees, alimony, child support, therapy, lost productivity, and the emotional misery of losing your kids half the time are added. 4. What marriage offers men today? Consider how modern marriage benefits men. Sex is possible without marriage. You can be friends without marrying. Having kids without marriage is becoming more common. What does marriage offer men to justify the risk? Social acceptance, career success, legitimate offspring, regular sex, and housework were the answers in the past. However, these benefits have been eliminated. Unmarried men are accepted in society. It's illegal to discriminate against them at employment, and most men find sex simpler outside marriage than inside it. Dual-income marriages are common, and both couples are too weary to support anyone. What remains? In 2024, marriage offers males what? You can love without a contract. You can commit without government involvement. Partners can work legally. Only in marriage can you lose half your possessions and see your kids if it fails. Men are realizing this is a threat, not an opportunity. People frequently say, "You're bitter, you're hurt, and a bad relationship has hurt you." But consider guys abandoning marriage. Many of them are never married, and not divorced. Not all are bitter, plenty are happy, prosperous, and thriving. They're logical, not damaged. They considered the deal and chose not to sign. Learn how to manage your money, not hurt your feelings. Women will feel assaulted reading this. They'll claim it's sexist, turns marriage like a business, and ruins romance. But urging guys to ignore money in the sake of love destroys them. It's like asking someone to invest their life savings without reading the tiny print. Great investors have faith. That's exploitative, not romantic. 5. The illusion of romance versus the reality of contracts. One comfortable misconception is that marriage is about love, and that love can overcome everything. The sad truth is that marriage is a legal contract that can cause major financial problems if it fails, which is likely. A comforting lie is that marriage will be different. The uncomfortable truth is that all divorcees thought the same thing. The simple lie is that failure preparedness causes failure. The harsh truth is that failing to plan is planning to fail. Men avoid marriage because they can love without risking everything they've built by signing a contract. They're committed but cognizant of the risks. They're adults who read contracts before signing them, unlike Peter Pan, who doesn't want to grow up. What they read in the marriage contract makes them depart. Shaming no longer works. Calling guys boys for not marrying doesn't work when married men are crushed in divorce court, when their married friends are unhappy and stuck. Warning them they're losing out doesn't work. Threatening divorced men with a lonely old life doesn't work when they see them die alone. The new paradigm is about avoiding legal issues, not relationships. Men are still dating, admiring, and promising, just not signing the deal. While working together, they're protecting their land, places, and futures. Even though society says otherwise, many are successful. They're having relationships on their own terms, partnerships without legal danger, love without expense, and even kids without marriage. Society's demand to marry males is crumbling. Now that the pressure is off, guys are wondering, what's in it for me? And can't answer. Just an observation, not criticism. The average age of first marriage is rising. Marriages are declining, and more men are staying single for life. Instead of asking why men are damaged, we should ask why marriage is so dysfunctional that smart men leave. This is the brutal truth no one wants to admit. Rich men should not marry today. The deal is great for guys with nothing to lose and women with everything to gain. Successful men, men who have built something to protect, see marriage as Russian roulette with half their net worth as the bullet. Be aware if you're still going to marry and risk it. Discuss the prenuptial agreement, not just mention it and give in when she tears. The real one, where you explain what you're risking and how you'll protect both of you if it fails. No matter how much you love each other, you may fail. Without discussing or accepting that risk, you're not ready for marriage. You are ready to marry, which is different. You want the show, not the connection. Prepare for the dream, not reality. Couples that can talk about money without fighting, plan for the worst without feeling misled, and protect each other from themselves survive terrible times. They choose each other daily because they want to. That choice is only real when you can go. Marriage can be amazing, life-changing, and the best thing ever. It can also wreck your money and mental health. Pretending the second choice doesn't exist does not eliminate it. It only makes you unprepared for it. Men are quitting a bad contract, not love. 6. The business of divorce and family. Court system. They won't commit, but they won't do it through a judicial system that profits from failure. They're not avoiding women. They're avoiding a deal that only makes sense without numbers. Consider who benefits from divorce. Lawyers charging hundreds of dollars an hour for conflicts that could have been avoided. Therapists treating trauma that didn't need to happen. Real estate agents selling properties families must sell. And a whole business founded on divorce. You may ask why the system doesn't safeguard them. The family court system works as planned. It's designed to break up families, turn parents into adversaries who battle over their children like property, and maximize profits. This extraction mechanism targets men, usually higher earners. You assume the court cares about your story, your wife's lawyer isn't friends with yours, and the system encourages quick, clean, and pleasant divorces. The system wants fights, blood, billable hours, court bills, counseling, and custody evaluations. Every dispute and fight is an opportunity to make money. You join to be processed by this machine. Consider why this annoys you. Why do you get furious when guys save money? Why does rational romantic risk assessment concern you? Marriage as a contract seems like cheating. Why? Maybe you've been sold the concept that love can fix any problem, including arithmetic, statistics, and contract law, like everyone else. But reality pays alimony, fights custody battles, and rebuilds after financial disaster. Fantasy doesn't. Men are now choosing reality over illusion, even if it means leaving a manhood-seeking group. Men see the game has altered, the hazards have increased, and the advantages have departed. Reasonable people don't break for observing. They're smart and defend themselves well. Refusing to sign makes them more aware, not less manly. Marriage is disappearing not because men won't commit, but because it demands too much and offers too little. Men will leave until that changes, the contract makes sense, and the risk is worth it. It may not be a crisis, but an evolution. Maybe men are realizing their value doesn't depend on their willingness to sign a bad deal. If these words express what you've been thinking but couldn't say, inform another man who needs to hear it. 7. The evolution of marriage and men's choices. Men see the game has altered, the hazards have increased, and the advantages have departed. Reasonable people don't break for observing. They're smart and defend themselves well. Refusing to sign makes them more aware, not less manly. Marriage is disappearing not because men won't commit, but because it demands too much and offers too little. Men will leave until that changes, the contract makes sense, and the risk is worth it. It may not be a crisis, but an evolution. Maybe men are realizing their value doesn't depend on their willingness to sign a bad deal. If these words express what you've been thinking but couldn't say, inform another man who needs to hear it. If this video makes you consider new dangers, please like it. Sign up for honest advice on money, relationships, and obligations that can wreck both. If I have to say what everyone is thinking but can't, so be it.